What's up, guys? Adventure Zach here. So I've been doing a little bit of things to the bike, and I figured I'd let you guys in on what exactly I've been doing to the bike, what I've taken off the bike. Everything that I've done mainly, well, not everything, but done some upgrades and some removal of some factory stuff, things that don't cost a dime to do. First off, I actually did this a while ago, a long while back. This is from the air filter. So I had a brand new OEM air filter. I'm going to go with a K&M. Popped this off the factory air filter. I just thought this was ridiculous. This is like a spark, almost like a spark arrestor for the intake filter, so nothing flings back and lights your filter on fire. Never heard of that before in my life. Went ahead and ripped that off because that is just, I mean, got some weight to it, but it's extremely restrictive. It's ridiculous. So that's not going to hurt anything. Taking that off the bike. As you guys can see, this is the Evap canister. I went ahead and ripped this off. Super easy to do, and no check engine lights. I have a 2017, as you guys are aware of. Apparently the 2017s and up will throw a check engine light when you disconnect the plug from the purge solenoid here. But I went ahead and pinned this out on the bike, and I've got no check engine light. Started it up, let it idle for a good minute or two, and if it would have thrown a check engine light, I would assume it would have thrown one in that amount of time. We'll find out when I ride it, but I know it's good. And I did the same thing with the plug that was on the top of this. I went ahead and pinned it out, and hopefully, you know, everything's good when I actually ride it, take it out for a full ride. But this is what came off. I cleaned everything up on the bike, and this weighs a good bit, man. I tried to weigh it on my scale. Unfortunately, my scale does not go, you know, into single-digit pounds. I mean, I tried. I couldn't get anything to weigh. I even laid this down with the OEM kickstand, which has got some good weight because, I mean, it's a solid piece of steel, and I couldn't get any reading on my scale whatsoever. It just wouldn't pull anything up. I got one of those funky scales anyways that does like body mass index, and it's got a metal strip on it, so that could also play a part of it. So I went ahead and removed all this. I mean, I would say between all of this, because the solenoid's pretty chunky, man. It's got some weight to it. All of this combined, I mean, I would say he's pushing 3 pounds. So could be a smidge less, could be a smidge more. It might be more of upwards of like 4 pounds. I'd say a good upwards of 3 pounds just by removing that. So yeah, this was super easy to remove. We're going to go ahead and take a look, and I'll show you what the bike looks like. So as you can see, that big mess of crap that's right there, that was right there, is missing now. And what I did is I went ahead and I capped this off. I'm going to get a block off plate for this, but this is perfectly fine to do this. So I capped, excuse me, I capped this off. And down here, as you can see right here, this line coming out of my gas tank, this is the breather line that ran to the canister. So what I did is, it's a super, super tight fit. I have a clamp, but I just could not, the clamp just would not go over where the nipple goes into this. The nipple goes in, you know, pretty far. I'd say about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, something like that. But I put a zip tie on there just as a extra safety, you know, precaution. And I rerouted the hose. This was one of the hoses that came off of the canister. This was actually the drain hose that came off the canister itself that routed down and around. So I just used it because it was a lot longer than the one that came here. Rerouted it down, brought it down through the bike, and I brought it over. So I brought it over here. It's going to be really hard to see. That's it right there, though. That hose, one closest to us, and all the other ones are right here. So it doesn't reach down as far as these, but it's ran right in here. So I can touch it right there with my finger. It's perfectly fine. That's out. And what was removed over here, you see the big difference here. I took this off just when I was doing this, cleaning everything off, getting all the clay off my pipe. But this is where the solenoid is. The solenoid's right up in here. And I took that out. The hose ran over to the top of the head right here, to the fresh air, you know, the breather to the top of the head. And I removed all that, plugged the plug in. The plug was right, Where the hell did I stick the plug at? Well, I cleaned it up so well I can't even see the plug myself. It's in there. I don't remember where the hell I zipped it to. So, but the plug that connects to your purge solenoid, that's the one that I pinned out. I've got a photo of it, and I will list it, or I'll pop it up on the screen right now at this point in time of the video. So I pinned that out, taped it up really well, put a couple different layers of tape on it, zipped it up out of the way. I can't even find where I put it at, so it's in there. I don't remember where the hell I put it. I had this off. And when this is off, you can see up in here much better. This is all open. It's harder to see in there. I think I zipped it right here. Right there is where it is. That's the plug. So it's up and behind there nice and neat. And as you can tell, this is all wide open. You're looking on a factory bike that has it. This whole thing, this whole area right here is just cluttered. So it's nice and clean now. And like I said, I rerouted that hose. So and then you have another cap that's right here, right behind the rear brake. You can see it right there. My pinky's touching it. That's the upper cap on the airbox. I went ahead and I capped that off. The caps that I used were really, really snug. Like I actually had to put some needle nose in there, you know, spread them for just a second, just to stretch the rubber for a second. And I took a baby wipe, rubbed, you know, the inside of it, rubbed the nipple, and then boom, slid it right over. They're really, really tight though, so didn't need any clamps on those. Just your typical vacuum caps. And then there was another drain line that ran from here up to the top of the seat right here, and I went ahead and just pulled it out because it was like a breather vent that was running right there. I went ahead and took that out, removed a little bit of weight, and also cleaned up the engine area quite a bit, so I'm happy with taking that out. Just when we get it out on a good, you know, all-day ride, we'll see if if it throws a check engine light. It shouldn't. If it does, it's not going to hurt anything, but it shouldn't because I pinned out both of those plugs. I'm going to be doing the whole, the TST fender eliminator kit though. Really tiny integrated tail light, and it shaves. By shaving this whole rear off, you're talking a couple more pounds. So back to here, this is the other side. This was the other plug right there, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that. You can see the lump of electrical tape. That's the plug under there. I pinned that out as well. Hopefully it was good to do so. Again, if not, you know, I'll just go back through and I'll troubleshoot it if I throw a check engine light for pinning out either one of those. So, but yeah, that was it, man. Super, super easy to do. Took me but maybe an hour to eliminate everything. That was taking my time cleaning everything off. Okay, so another thing that I did, and I'm actually going to be doing a little bit of work to this now, shortly here tonight, is I'm going to be eliminating my kickstand switch entirely. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to pin it off up here, get rid of that. It's going to shave, you know, it's not really going to minimally shave weight, but just to get the clutter out of there. And it's also a good safety feature when you're in the woods having this disengaged, because, you know, I know when I'm on the street to have my kickstand up or down, but when you're in the woods, if this thing fails on you, you know, you could be kind of SOL. You'd be cutting it back in the bush and trying to eliminate all that. I think I can get to the plug from here. I already took that screw out. Let me see real quick. I like to tend to put my bolts and everything back in place. That way I don't lose locations. So the plug, oh, it's in here. That's what we're looking for, is that little green plug right there. So I'll peel that back. I'm going to cut the wire up here, and I'm going to probably solder the two wires together, make a closed loop, open loop, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't remember if soldering it together is going to be closed or putting the wires together, if that's closed, I believe. But I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that green plug right there, though, we're going to go ahead and cut it down here, leave us a little bit of slack, and we're going to solder the two wire together, and then plug the plug back in, tape it up nice, and we'll solder it, tape it up nice and neat, and then plug it back in, and that will eliminate the kickstand. Super, super easy to do. I'll take the wire out entirely. I think it runs up through the back right here. Yeah, it does. Get it out of those two little clamps. Take this off. That eliminates that entirely. But if you guys see, though, what do you see different? I put on a Soupys Aftermarket solid aluminum kickstand. It's significantly lighter than this. It's significantly lighter than this. This thing's solid steel. It's pretty, maybe it's not solid. This isn't solid. I'm lying to you because it's got a hole in it. So this is definitely hollow. This is solid, or it's welded on, but this is still really heavy. This is solid aluminum. So I shaved some weight there. I think it looks a little bit better. It's also fully adjustable. So I don't need to raise it up at all. I could maybe bring it up a notch. It'll allow the bike to tilt over a little bit more. But back in the woods, it's better to have it a little bit more upright. This is about stock height where I set it. Let me see real quick. So that would have been stock right there. Yeah, stock height. They do sell an aftermarket bigger foot, which I think I'm going to buy. It's like $50. See how this kickstand does, because it is a smaller base than the OEM, which kind of sucks because, you know, I'll definitely need to bring something with me. I have plenty of things here at home. A little piece of plastic that'll support the weight of the bike. And I think I'm going to throw in my bag. I might even stick some Velcro on it. Maybe Velcro it like to like underneath on the top of the tail. All I got to do is just rip it off real quick, slide it under there if I need to. Because I find myself time to time with this kickstand even, and it's not very wide down here, in the woods, going to place the bike down, and you can't because there's nowhere to place it, and then you got no rocks or sticks or anything around. As soon as you put it in the ground, it just like a hot knife in the mud. We'll see how this does, though. But I shaved some weight there, which is nice. Nice and solid. So I'm happy with it. I haven't been able to use it yet, but I'm happy with it. But we're going to go ahead and take this off. Cut this switch out. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm going to be replacing this lead-acid battery with a lithium-ion. That's going to save a couple pounds there as well. But if you guys notice, do you see anything else different with the bike? What I did, I mean, obviously the side's not on there. If the side was on there, and the seat, just think if the seat's on there. So what I did was I took off the rear toolkit. That shaved some weight. Never used it. And I think the bike actually looks, I mean, the bike looks naked right this second. I'll take a photo of it and you know, upload it. But I took the rear toolkit off. I think it looks perfectly fine. I can take the two screws out if I want. I just put them in there so the holes wouldn't get all plugged up because I wanted to know how I liked it. Wasn't like really heavy or anything like that, but, you know, shaved a little bit of weight there. And I took off the rear chain guard. Now, probably going to put that back on. That thing didn't really weigh anything. I actually just took it off because I was cleaning the chain. I kind of like the way it looks without it on there. You know, it doesn't look too bad. I'll probably put it back on, but it's not going to affect anything with it being off. You know, I think it looks kind of good. But I'll put a photo up right here with everything back together showing what it looks like with that section out. I think it looks pretty damn good.